Glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations. Much love and respect to you, Akim, out there pushing this word out in truth and sincerity. I just came across this this video here where this, which he looks like an Ammonite, right? He looks like an Ammonite. I'm not sure where he's from, but this video is really a shot at all Edomites. Okay, he mentions Esau. You know, of course, he said Europe. You know, but you know what he means when he says that. He's speaking about these Edomites. How? Oh, excuse me, Salakia. How stingy and niggardly they are. He said that without saying it. You know, without saying it in those words. So I'm gonna play this video real quick.
It's a Hermes bag, but the stupid store won't even sell me one. So we're gonna do what all Asians do. Get them from one of our friends. Girlfriend wants a Hermes bag, but the stupid store won't even sell me one. So we're gonna do what all Asians do. Get them from one of our friends. Come.
Bobby, how are you?
Can I borrow one of your bags?
Of course. Come in.
This house looks like a hotel. My mom's wardrobe is a little bit bigger and a little bit better, but yours is nice. Well done, Jamie.
Get them something simple. It's very special and hard to get.
Can I keep this one?
Why not? A diamond Himalayan Birkin, but only if she's the queen of your heart.
I have 3 queens of my hearts. Do you have 3 of these?
I have 4. Can't say no to Bobby.
In Asia, we're super generous, not like in Europe. We share with one another. We take care of each other. Asia is always better.
Let's bring that back. Let's bring that back.
Get them something simple. It's very special and hard to get.
Can I keep this one?
Why not? A diamond of your heart.
I have 3 queens of my hearts. Do you have 3 of these?
I have 4. Can't say no to Bobby.
In Asia, we're super generous, not like in Europe. We share with one another. We take care of each other. Asia is always better.
Which what he said there, right? We're not like Europe. We share with one another. We take care of one another, which is 100% true. Okay, because the way these Edomites live, they live very, very individualistic. You know, when people come to these parts of the world, whether it be Canada or America, they notice the individualism that's here compared to in their own country, right? Now, that's because this is a selfish lifestyle. It's a selfish society because these Edomites are selfish, right? There's accounts of people going to Edomites' houses, you know, in different parts of Europe, like Sweden and these different places, and they'll go, and first of all, they'll go to like a dinner that they're invited to, and then they'll send them a bill or tell them they have to pay for this. You drank a bit of this, you ate a bit of this, and you know, they'll send them a bill for everything that they ate and they drank, you know, or you know, if a friend's over and they're about to have dinner, you know, they'll tell the friend go in the room and wait while we have dinner. Like some real bugged out crazy shit that even in any of these other cultures they don't, that's not heard of, you know, even amongst these other heathen. But it's because Esau Edom, he's different from these other heathen. He is the wicked. Okay. Let me go find some scriptures dealing with a niggard. All right. Matter of fact, before I do that, let's look up the word niggardly. All right. Niggardly means ungenerous, stingy. That's Esau Edom. Esau is not generous, and he's very, very stingy. Right. That's why the scriptures say, if he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly, because he's not a generous person. Us as Israelites, naturally, we're the most generous people on the earth, naturally, in our natural state. Okay, this is why you see them homeless people, when they target somebody to give them money, a lot of times I notice they target so-called black men to give them money, because Jake is known for giving, you know. Even the poor, even though Jake is poor, Jake will gives more than these rich Edomites out of the sincerity of his heart. All right. Table. KJV. This is Sirach 14:10. It says, a wicked eye envieth his bread, and he is a niggard at his table. Yeah, right? And Esau's an envious man. That's why the scripture, and being envious, you know, like being a niggard and being envious goes hand in hand. You know, when someone is envious, you know, they see somebody have something, they want it. Motherfucker, they want what he has, and they're never satisfied with what they have, right? You best believe that person is not a generous person. All right, because that goes hand in hand. All right. Let's see what we can get at verse. See if we can start up a bit. I'll start at verse 7. Right, perfect. This is the scripture I needed to. Matter of fact, I'll start at verse 5. It says, he that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? He shall, matter of fact, let's go up a bit. I'll start at verse 3. It says, riches are not comely for a niggard, right? And what should an envious man do with money? You see? So a niggard, like I said, is a stingy person. So a stingy person with money is not good. It's not a good thing. And Esau is very stingy. Okay? It says, he that gathereth by defrauding his own soul, gathereth for others, that shall spend his goods riotously, which goes into, you're getting money in, you're getting money, but you never want to spend it. You never want to do nothing with it because you just want to hoard it. You know, you're defrauding your soul from pleasure. Okay, that's what it's going into, right? Because if you got the money, what's the point of having it if you don't spend it? All right, and eventually somebody else is gonna get to enjoy that money, right? Even King Solomon said that, you know, you have an inheritance, and who, you know, you give it to your son, who's to know if he's a fool and will spend, you know, and do foolishly with the things that you have. So you should enjoy the fruits of your labor. Okay. It says, he that is evil to himself, and that goes into also being evil to yourself, to whom will he be good? And I'm not saying to be foolish. There's obviously a time to restrain from spending and things of that nature. But there's a level where you're like, you know, you can spend, but you're just being stingy with it. Okay. It says, he that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? He shall not take pleasure in his goods. There is none worse than he that envieth himself, and this is a recompense of his wickedness. All right. This is a recompense of his wickedness. It says, and if he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly, and at the last he will declare his wickedness. Okay, so that's it. That's Esau. If he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly. All right, he's not going to do something that doesn't benefit him. You know, he's not going to do something that doesn't benefit him, and hence, even when they go about to establish their economic hitmen, you know, they're those people are not even really getting that money. You know, it's really all a big scam. That money is going to their own corporations, but the people have to pick up the tab and pay back the debt with interest, right? But they'll give a little money to those leaders that are working in their favor. So that's how Esau works. It's not through genuinely trying to help people. Okay, and our people, we are in a totally different spirit, because you have men like Mensa Munsa, you know, and many men. This is just Jake's spirit. If Jake has a lot of money, you know, Jake is gonna throw that around, man, and help people. Okay, even these wicked Jakes in the world, these rappers. Let's have somebody at their concert, and and they'll say, oh, I have to pay my tuition. And the rap, they'll say, okay, 15,000, we'll pay their tuition. Or oh, I need, or they just, whatever, it's the person's birthday, they'll give them 20,000. Jake will just throw that money around to people because that's in Jake's spirit. Even in wickedness, Jake does that. But that's not in these Edomites' spirit. Okay? That's not in Esau's spirit. It says, the envious, matter of fact, it says, I'll read verse 7 again. And if he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly. And at the last, he will declare his wickedness. The envious man hath a wicked eye. He turneth away his face and despiseth men. Right. You don't think he despised the poor? It says, a covetous man's eye is not satisfied with his portion, and the iniquity of the wicked drieth up his soul. A wicked eye envieth his bread, and he is a niggard at the table. It says, my son, according to thy ability, do good to thyself. Meaning, if you got the bread to help yourself, you're wearing the same shoes. I mean, they got holes in the bottom of the fucking shoes. You're wearing that shit, you know what I mean? Go buy some new shoes, man. If you have enough money to do it, buy some new shoes, man. Okay? That's it, all right? I'm going to keep hoarding, because, you know, it's kind of like you think that money's going to deliver you or something. All right? Which, like I said, there's nothing wrong with saving and things of that nature, but there's a level where it's like, okay, you can spend a little money to get some things for yourself. You know, it's called balance. It's called balance, man. Right? It says, a wicked eye envieth his bread. See, because it's wisdom up into a level. It's wisdom holding and saving up into a certain level to where it becomes being stingy and hoarding. Okay? It says, a wicked eye envieth his bread, and he is a niggard at his table. My son, according to thy ability, do good to thyself, and give the Lord his due offering. Right, but do what you have to do towards the Lord, but you could do good towards yourself. Okay, it says, remember that death will not be long. You got, for example, I'll give you an example. You have back pain. You've been working all these years. You got back pain. You know, and you got good money saved in a bank. You know, you barely have any debt, which you don't, you know, I'm giving you an example. And a brother say, oh, you know, shit, you should go get a massage. No, I don't need to get a massage. I'll get a massage in the kingdom, brother. I'll get a massage in the kingdom. It's not the time for us to be in that type of position to have get massages and stuff like that. This is not the kingdom. That's you being over righteous, man. All right. You know, do good unto yourself, man. That's good for your health. Okay. I'm just giving an example, but there's other things, man. You know, brother ain't wicked if he wants to spend his money, man. You can spend your money on whatever the hell you want to spend your money on. It says, remember that death will not be long in coming, right? And that the covenant of the grave is not shewed unto thee, right? So you don't know when you're going to die. That's why the one man, which Yahushua spoke about in the parable, that was hoarding all that money and all his substance, and said, oh yeah, I have enough to deliver me from any situation that I can live off of forever. And the Lord said, thou fool, you know, your soul shall be required thee this day. You know, it says, do good unto thy friend before thou die, and according to thy ability stretch out thy hand and give to him. Right. Even when it comes to these elites in these top circles, they're doing things for their friends, so to speak, quote unquote, but it comes with a cost. They're not just giving it out of the generosity of their heart. They're trying to manipulate things. They're trying to say, okay, I did you that favor, now you owe me a favor to do this and that. They don't do things based upon sincerity and kindness. Okay, so when this Moabite said what he said, that was a shot at all you Edomites to show that you guys are nothing but a bunch of stingy people, right? And there's examples of that on the internet of people going into that, how they've been treated in different parts of Europe with their Edomite friends, their so-called white friends in Europe. How they're stingy, how they're greedy. how you go to have a dinner and they're charging you for what you ate, or as a child you're there at your friend's house, and then it's time for supper, and the friend is telling you, the parents tell you, oh, my mother said you have to go wait in the room because we're about to have dinner. What the fuck? You don't fix. I've never been to a friend's house that that didn't say, well, unless it was an Edomite, that didn't say you guys can stay over and eat. If they're eating, they're gonna give me food too. They're gonna give me food too. All right. I even had this one of my close friends back in the when I was a kid, which he was Irish, and both of his parents are Israelites. Both of them, his father and his mother, man. All right. And I used to go over to their house, and the food used to be good too. There used to be good food, man. All right. And she would treat me like her own son, man. And she was cool as hell. That's why I said, not just the father's a Jake, but I believe that the mother was a Jake too, man. And the sisters were clearly N-dubs, man. Clearly. they had that the N-dub attitude, man. Okay? So, that's the facts, man. This is the fact. So you Edomites are being revealed in different ways, man. That's why the scripture says, oh, hold on, Obadiah. What does it say, man? What does it say in Obadiah? Let's get Obadiah. Abadia. But let's get Obadiah. Let's do Obadiah 1. And verse, might as well start at verse 2. I'll start at verse 1 actually. It says, the vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord power concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. Right? So Moab that shows that them I don't know, he looks like an Ammonite, but Moab and Ammon, and these other nations are beginning to despise you, because that basically what he was saying in not so many words, you're a scumbag, you're greedy, you're stingy. This is the word for despise. It says baizah. It says to despise, hold in contempt, disdain. Yep. To despise, regard with contempt, to be despised, to be despicable, to be vile, to be worthless. Woo! To cause to despise. And this image of Esau is growing in the earth. And this is why these Edomites are so angry. It says the feeling that someone or something is unworthy. Woo! And you're unworthy of rulership. Okay? Of one's consideration or respect. So hey man, someone who's a stingy, niggardly person, that's not someone that's deserving of respect. Okay? Someone is thirsty, they got juice or water or something, or juice. Oh yeah, okay, I'll give you some of my juice, but you gotta pay for it. You gotta pay for every cup that you drink. That's how these Edomites operate, man. And there's niggas that operate like Edomites nowadays, man. Okay? So with that, Lord, this is edifying to the elect, and I'll say shalom.